Hello all. Today I would like to discuss some major points in photosynthesis. That is basically the biochemical reactions that happens in photosynthesis. I would like to describe this in as two classes. The first one covers all the basic concepts in photosynthesis, and the first part comprises the light reactions. And second video, I would like to discuss about the dark reactions in photosynthesis. So today, photosynthesis first part starts with the basic concepts. As we all know, photosynthesis is a biochemical reaction that happens in the plants where the sunlight and water are assimilated by plants to produce oxygen and carbohydrates. So this is the basic concept of photosynthesis, as we all know. So this is the overall reaction in photosynthesis. It is an anabolic reaction. It has an anabolic reaction and catabolic reaction as well. The first part, we can see the carbon dioxide and water combines together to produce carbohydrates, that is starch, and oxygen is released. So photosynthesis is a reaction which requires a light energy in the form of photons. The light energy is uh, accepted by the photosynthetic pigments that we know that will be discussed later. The light energy in the form of photons and water to produce organic macromolecule, that is glucose and then starch. The overall reaction means the carbon dioxide is reduced. Reduction in a sense, when hydrogen or electron is accepted, it is reduced. So carbon dioxide is converted to carbohydrate, that is, it is reduced, and the water is oxidized to produce oxygen gas. It occurs in, or the overall reaction of photosynthesis can be uh, classified or can be divided into two phases. The first is the light reaction and the second one is the dark reaction. Dark reaction, in a sense, it is light independent reaction. The light reaction, it requires light for the reaction to happen, and dark reaction means it doesn't require light, or it doesn't need the presence of light. That doesn't mean it occurs in the dark. It doesn't need light to process. So that is, in a sense, it is known as dark reaction, also known as light independent reaction or Calvin cycle. So you can see the overall reaction. The first part shows the light reaction where water is accepted by the chlorophyll, that is photosynthetic pigments are in the chloroplast, and oxygen is released. And the dark reaction part, the carbon dioxide is reduced. So this means that this gives the overall reaction of photosynthesis. So overall reaction comprises light reaction and dark reaction. In the light reaction part, water is accepted and oxygen is released. Water is oxidized to oxygen, and the second part, that is dark reaction, carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrates. So this gives a overall reaction in photosynthesis. And the next question is, where is the location of photosynthesis? And we all know chloroplast. Chloroplast is the organelle in the plant which is more or less similar to the mitochondria of animal cells. And chloroplast, this gives the structure of chloroplast, and I'll be discussing it in the next slide. Yeah, you can see chloroplast is a double layered membrane, that is, it has an outer membrane and an inner membrane, and within the inner membrane, that means the stroma means the inside part of the chloroplast. Within the membrane, it has some disc shaped structures, and this disc shaped, each disc is known as a thylakoid. Each disc is known as a thylakoid, and the group of thylakoid, or it is known as the stalk. The stalk of thylakoid is known as a granum. One is granum, and there are several granum, and it is known as, altogether it is known as granae. The plural is granae. The singular form is granum. So the stalk of thylakoid is known as a granum, and there are some interconnections that connects to granum and that area, or the liquid portion inside the uh, chloroplast is known as, aqueous space is known as a stroma or stromal region. So I'll repeat again. Chloroplast is a double-layered membrane. It has an outer membrane and an inner membrane, and within the inner membrane or within the matrix there are disc-shaped structures. These are known as thylakoids. The group of thylakoids is known as the granum, and the aqueous area or the aqueous portion in between the granum is known as the stroma or stromal region. This is the overall structure of the chloroplast. You can see the same here, and this shows a cross section of the granum. So you can see it here. This disc shaped structures, thylakoid, and group of thylakoid is known as a granum. The stack of thylakoid is known as the granum, and thylakoid is also a double-layered membrane. It has an outer membrane and an inner membrane and a lumen portion. And the interconnections are known as stroma or stroma lamella. So this is the structure, and the exact location of light reaction is the thylakoid inner membrane. The inner membrane of thylakoid is the location. So in general we will discuss, we will tell that chloroplast is a location of photosynthesis, but actually the location of photosynthesis or the light reaction is actually the thylakoid inner membrane. So that's what we have to understand here. And next part is the pigments. So we need light and carbon dioxide and water to start with the photosynthesis, but who will accept, or who will assimilate the light from the sun? So the answer is photosynthetic pigments. So we need photosynthetic pigments to start photosynthesis. Otherwise, where there is no light, there is light, but there should be someone to accept the light rays or accept the photons. So this duty is done by photosynthetic pigments. Mainly the photosynthetic pigment is the chlorophyll. In most of the plants and blue green algae, the chlorophylls are the photosynthetic pigments. These chlorophylls, they absorb light, different like a red, blue or violet light rays. And the chlorophylls are of two types, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. The chlorophyll A accepts some particular forms of light, and chlorophyll B absorbs some light that is not absorbed by chlorophyll A. So this complementary actions of both chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B make sure that most of the light rays are absorbed from the sun. And another types of pigments are also there, like carotenoids, like carotenes and xanthophylls, phycobilins. These are the major types of pigments that is used for absorbing light rays during photosynthesis. So this shows the absorption spectrum of light, where you can see it is arranged, as we all know, it is arranged in the increasing order of wavelength or decreasing order of frequency. So according to this spectrum, the chlorophyll photosynthetic pigments absorbs different forms of light or different wavelengths. And this chlorophylls are mainly the typical pigments, and this carotenoids and phycobilins are some complementary pigments, or these are known as accessory pigments. Carotenoids, carotenoid light absorbed by carotenoids are transferred to chlorophylls. So thus carotenoids are known as accessory pigments and chlorophylls are the typical pigments. And this shows the working pattern of the photosynthetic pigments. The photosynthetic pigments are also known as antenna complex because these function as an antenna. Antenna means what? It absorbs some uh, waves, or absorbs the radiations, or it captures the signals. So that's why it is also known as antenna complex or antenna pigments. So you can see some pigment molecules here. It can be chlorophylls, it can be carotenoids or anything. There are the photosynthetic pigments, and light is absorbed by the photosynthetic pigments and it is then transferred to the reaction center. Reaction center means the reaction center that will be discussed later because the light reaction part is yet to be discussed. So the light, this is just to make clear that how the light energy is absorbed through the pigments. So light energy from the sunlight is absorbed by the pigment molecules, and then these pigment molecules transfer this light to the reaction center for electron transfer, which is otherwise known as the what light reaction. So this is a basic concept of energy transfer during photosynthesis. And this is the major part, reactions of photosynthesis. As I told before, photosynthesis is classified or divided into two phases or two segments. The first segment or first phase is known as the light reaction part, and next is the dark reaction. Dark reaction means the light independent reaction or Calvin cycle. In the light reaction, only water molecule is involved. The water molecule is oxidized and an electron transport chain happens there and the oxygen is released. In the dark reaction part or Calvin cycle, it occurs in the stroma. Light reaction occurs in the grana that I told already. It is occurred in the thylakoid lumen, that means the grana, and the dark reaction occurs in the stroma of chloroplast. And this figure shows the overview of photosynthesis. Water is used in the presence of light. Light reaction happens in the grana of chloroplast and oxygen is released, and here electron transport chain also happens, that will be discussed later. And in the dark reaction part or Calvin cycle, as the name implies, it is a cyclic reaction where the carbon dioxide is absorbed and sugar is produced. So the carbon dioxide is reduced to a sugar molecule. And in the light reaction, the ATP and NADPH molecules are produced, and these two molecules are utilized in the Calvin cycle, and it is cleaved into ADP and NADP plus, which is again used by the light reaction. Then ATP is produced, NADPH is produced, and this also acts as a cyclic process. So this is an overview of photosynthesis. And next concept that we have to discuss is the photosystems. Photosystems are the terms usually used in the photosynthesis reactions. Photosystem means the photosynthetic pigments for photosynthesis are organized as photosystems. So each pigment or the pigments are arranged as a group, and this group of photosynthetic pigments are known as photosystems, and these photosystems are occurring in the thylakoid membrane where the light reaction occurs. And there are two photosystems, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. The reason why I mentioned photosystem 2 is because during light reaction the photosystem 2 comes first and then photosystem 1. So that is why I mentioned photosystem 2 in the first. The photosystem 2 comprises of the antenna pigments, and this absorb light energy, and this energy is transferred through an electron transport chain, that is ETC, and then finally oxygen is released. Then photosystem 1 also there. Photosystem 1 is for the final part of the electron transport chain, and where the NADPH